This is Lenny Reese. It's Sunday, October 19th, 2008, and we're at the Ina Levine Jewish Community Campus visiting with Carol Kern. Carol, would you share with us the story of your life before you came to Phoenix?
Well, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I don't know if I should say the year, but it was 1940. And I had a very large, loving, wonderful family. My dad died when he was quite young, and I was quite young. I was 8 years old. And my mother raised 3 children on her own, 3 daughters. She was born in Europe, in Poland, and so I'm a first-generation American. But we had just such a wonderful family. We moved to Arizona in 1983. Alan was doing business here and spending a great deal of time in Arizona and in Florida, southern Florida. So one day he came to the family and said, "You know, I'm on the road so much. We should pick a place to live." And we had visited Arizona several times. We would come here in February on the children's spring break and loved it. But I didn't know anybody here. But I figured if I was leaving my beloved New York, and New York was beloved to me, I wanted a completely different way of life. And moving to Florida, I would feel like I was just a transplanted Easterner down there, and I wanted something new. And so we moved to Arizona in 1983.
What kind of a community did you find here? What kind of a Jewish community did you find?
Very small. It was very small, at least from my point of view. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood that was 98% Jewish. I thought the world was Jewish in Brooklyn. When I moved here, I found a whole bunch of different people. In fact, a lot of people that were from the Midwest had a whole different style than my style, and they didn't even remind me of Jewish people, even though they were. It just didn't seem the same. In any event, I just searched around for things that I wanted to do here. I had become a Brandeis member in Westchester. After we moved from Manhattan, we moved to Westchester County, Armonk, and a friend of mine was a Brandeis alum, and she took me to some study groups there, and I became a life member of Brandeis. So when I moved here, I found out, in fact, there was a Brandeis chapter. And I said, well, here's some built-in friends that I could spend time with that had like values, interested in education and continuing education. So I started to go to some of the study groups, and I made some very nice friends. On the way, I built my volunteerism through my activities in Brandeis. Although I had done some volunteer work back in New York, it wasn't as intensive as it was here because I was really working full-time in New York. And now I had more time on my hands, so volunteer work seemed to just fit the bill for me. I became a study group leader, facilitating study groups, and then I became a chapter vice president, and before I know it, I was the Phoenix chapter president.
And what happened to the membership during your tenure? I believe there was a nice jump in membership, wasn't there?
There was a very nice jump in membership through an increase in the study group programming that I was very instrumental in starting. We went from about 5 study groups to about 19. And people were really interested in joining Brandeis at the time. There were many people that were coming here from different parts of the country. And this was a great way for them to have social interaction with people and continue using their brain and working.
So you rose in the ranks locally to become our regional president?
Well, I was a
local-
region president, and then I went on to become the national president.
And before your national presidency, you were very involved in creating or contributing to the founding of this local book and author luncheon, which has a life of its own now.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes. Well, it was always my dream to start a book and author luncheon right here in Phoenix. And so I found two wonderful chairmen during my presidency and sort of guided them in a direction that I wanted this to take. So our first book and author luncheon was, I think, must have been in 1990 or 1991, because this is our 18th year coming up. And we started. We had about, I would say, 125 people that attended that first book and author luncheon. And it was going all right year after year. And about the fourth year, I turned around to a friend and past president of the chapter as well, Freddie Lieberman, and I said, how about chairing this with me? And let's make this into a community event rather than just a Brandeis event. And so we were able to get some really nationally known authors at the time, and our attendance rose from about 300 that year to 600. And after that, it just took a life on its own. I mentored many, many chairmen throughout the years, and it's now a community event with between 800 and 1,000 people that attend each year. So it's a wonderful fundraiser for the local chapter, plus it really gives us tremendous recognition right here in Arizona. And across the country, we're sort of known as the best book and author in the country.
That's really a point of pride. You're a point of pride for us. So you went on to become the national president.
That's right.
And share an experience or two during your tenure?
Oh, well, I remember my first trustee meeting, and I was sitting around the table with these just amazing men and women that had done so much. I mean, Tom Friedman was sitting across from me. I was sitting next to Robert Reich. I met Anita Hill. In fact, we had her as an author one year. I met so many incredible people. But besides that, besides meeting and continuing to be educated about everything that's going on, because while I was there, I was able to attend some of the seminars and faculty lectures as well. I found that the women across the country were doing such exceptional work for Brandeis University, and many of them, in fact, most of them, are not alumni. So what brings people to this organization is just amazing. The local study groups, the continuing education, and because, again, the founding of the university, because it still is the only Jewish-founded, non-sectarian university in the United States. And it's something that we can be really proud of, and the Jewish community all over the world should be proud of Brandeis.
Well, you are an honored member of our community, and we're delighted that you found the time to share your story with us today, so thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a delight to be here.